right? Okay, matrices. See, basically matrices are for what? Okay, why we need to learn matrices? See, first of all, if you think about that aspect, matrices are very much helpful in solving the linear equations as well as linear inequations also. Okay, see, I think we are all aware of solving these type of equations. For suppose if we have that something excuse me, right, excuse me, right, if you have linear equations of this type like x plus y is equals to 10, 3x minus 2y is equals to something, you may say some 20. If you have two linear equations in two variables and we know the way of solving these two equations, the way of finding x and y, whereas instead of two equations, for suppose if we have three equations in three variables, for suppose if you say something like x plus y minus z is equals to some 20, or otherwise something like 3x minus y plus 4z is equals to 10, or you may take 2x plus 2y minus z is equals to some 15. If you have three equations in three variables, then also there are some ways, some simple ways to solve these three linear equations in three variables to find x, y and z. But what about if we have more number of equations with more number of variables? There are some engineering point of view purposes as well as industrial views where there involve some 10 to 15 equations. Sometimes some, see, if you are going to search for a program for the satellites or something, there you need to build up some around about 20 to 30 linear equations involved with 30 variables. So then solving those 30 equations, or you may say 100 equations with 100 variables is manually, it is somewhat difficult. Then there arises the need of computers. Is it right? So using computers or using calculators to solve the system of linear equations in two variables or in the three variables, or the system of linear equations with 30 variables is possible using computers. And to write that perfect program for the computers or for the calculators, this concept of matrices is very much helpful. And if you wish to solve manually also, the way if you use matrices, it simplifies your work. Okay, basically matrices simplifies our difficult situations in solving linear equations in two variables or three variables, as well as matrices is one of the way to represent the given data with us in a different format. Okay, see, mathematics, what it usually does is it always simplifies the human difficulties. Okay, see, tabular formats, statistics, graphical representations, diagrammatic representations, all these type of representations are all these type of representations basically simplifies the human difficulties, right? So matrices is also one of that type of concept which simplifies our task. Okay, see, matrices is basically, see, you think about all this is first point. Okay, and matrices is basically proposed by the mathematician J.J. Sylvester. See, the name of the mathematician is J.J. Sylvester, and later it is developed by the different persons. You may say Arthur Kalle and another person Gauss Jordan, and similarly Kramer. See, there are different mathematicians who developed different logics and theories for the matrices. Okay, so and matrices, what we do here in matrices, that's what I said to you. Okay, matrices is basically what? Matrices simplifies human task, as well as it helps us to write a good program in the calculators or for the computers, and it is developed and generated different theories in matrices by these mathematicians, right? Just have a look. Then coming to the second point of the matrices. Basically, what is a matrix? Coming to the definition, okay? Coming to the definition, matrix is just a rectangular arrangement of numbers. Matrices is just nothing but a rectangular arrangement of numbers. We need to arrange the numbers in a rectangular format. Okay, and you may call those numbers as maybe elements or objects also. Okay, you may call the numbers as elements or objects, right? And these matrices are usually enclosed by these type of brackets, and as well as these matrices are denoted by the capital English alphabets. Capital English alphabets are used to represent matrices, as well as its elements are represented by the small English alphabets like A, B, X, Y. These type of small English alphabets are usually used to represent the elements of the matrix. Okay, for suppose if I have four elements like A, B, C, D, you may say four numbers, four objects, or four elements like A, B, C, D. Okay, yeah. These are the elements. Then what is its rectangular arrangement? I need to arrange these four elements in a rectangular format such that they has to be included in these type of brackets. Okay, for suppose A, B, C, D. This is also one arrangement and it is a matrix. You may call this matrix as something, you may say it as some D. Okay, or for suppose you may arrange those four elements in a rectangular format in such format like A, B, C, D. This is another rectangular format and you may call it as, you may say some E. So what I am saying is these matrices are named by these capital English alphabets as well as its elements are named, are represented by using the small English alphabets. That's it. Okay. See, and the next task is matrix is the rectangular arrangement of the numbers and they are enclosed in these brackets. They are named by the capital alphabets and the elements are represented by the small alphabets. That's everything okay. And for suppose if I have some numbers, how to arrange those numbers in the rectangular format. Okay, for example, I will give you one example. Just have a look here. For example, I will consider the numbers some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First 6 numbers if I consider, okay, you just look there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 numbers, okay, and I need to write a matrix. Writing a matrix is just nothing but what? Rectangular arrangement of numbers. Rectangular arrangement. I need to arrange these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a rectangular format. So how to arrange these 6 numbers in a rectangular format? See, if you look, there are different ways actually. For suppose, some of you may write it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and it is a rectangular arrangement. You say it as a matrix A. And if you try to write in another format, see, maybe another matrix some B is equals to something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, or maybe another person may write it like this. Some C is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And another possibility is like this. Some D is equals to matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that, there are many ways to represent the given numbers in a rectangular format. Okay, see, if I gave you 6 elements, okay, write a matrix. If I give you a task, write a matrix using these 6 elements. So there are many possibilities. Okay, different persons will consider different matrices. Okay, unique matrix is not possible if I say write a matrix with these 6 elements. Okay, ఒకళ్ళు ఒక రకంగా రాసే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది, అందరూ ఒకటే రాయాలి లేదు కదా. Some people will write matrix A, some people may consider matrix B, some people may consider matrix C. అంటే యూనిక్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ చేసే ఛాన్స్ ఉండదు. అందుకోసం మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే అందరూ కూడా, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ దేర్ ఆర్ 40 people in the class, see, my intention is everybody has to concentrate on only one matrix. Then what I need to give you is, along with the elements, I need to mention the, see, arrangement also. I need to mention the type of the arrangement. Type of the arrangement here in the sense, I need to give you the number of horizontal rows as well as the number of vertical columns. Is it clear? So what I am going to tell you is, arrange these 6 elements in a rectangular format. Write a matrix using these 6 elements is not properly asked question. Okay, is not properly given task. The proper task is arrange these 6 elements with 2 rows and 3 columns. If I say like that, arrange these 6 elements with 2 rows and 3 columns, everybody will pay their attention on this matrix A only. If I gave you arrange these 6 elements in one horizontal row, if I say like that, in one horizontal row, then everybody pay their attention on this matrix D only. So see, if my intention is to pay concentration on only one particular matrix, I need to give along with the elements particular order also, particular dimensions also. Okay, so here we call these number of horizontal rows and number of vertical columns by the order of the matrix. Okay, so order of the matrix is also very important here. Okay, without this order we can't pay our attention on a single matrix. Here if you come there, since there are 2 horizontal rows and there are 3 vertical columns, its order is 2 by 3. You need to read it like 2 by 3, not like 2 into 3. Okay, and if the see, if you look there, there are 3 horizontal rows and 2 vertical columns, so its order is 3 by 2. Whereas if you look there, how many horizontal rows are there? See, every line is a row, 6 horizontal rows and 1 vertical column, 6 by 1. And here 1 horizontal row and 6 vertical columns, and that is 1 by 6. Okay, so in generally, if we have a matrix, okay, and whose order is some m by n, you need to think about this m by n. Okay, don't read it like m into n, you need to read like m by n. Okay, see, m rows as well as n columns. So what it means actually, m rows and n columns. See, the number of horizontal rows are m here and the number of vertical columns are n here. As well as if you count the total number of elements, for sure the total number of elements are m into n. Once again, if you look there, here the order is 2 by 3. So 2 into 3 is 6 and the number of elements are 6. 3 into 2 is 6 and the number of elements are 6. 6 into 1 is 6 and the number of elements are 6. 1 into 6 is 6 and the number of elements are 6. So see, the product of this m and n will represent the number of elements, but individually that m and that n represents the number of rows as well as the number of columns. Okay, don't get confused. M represents the horizontal rows, n represents the vertical columns. Okay, for suppose if I have a matrix like this, okay, try to mention the order for this. Okay, 1 2 minus 1 0 minus 3 4 5 6 7, and I may take one more thing, 1 0 minus 2. So this is a matrix. So what to say about its order? If you think once, see how many horizontal rows are involved here. See, one row. See, we call these as the rows, right? You need to represent. See, you need to identify it. Okay, these as the rows. Some people may get confused related to the rows and columns. Okay, so horizontal rows and then vertical columns. This is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, and this is row 4. As well as this is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3. That in the sense 4 rows and 3 columns are involved. So its order is 4 by 3. Here the 4 represents rows and 3 represents the columns. And how many elements are there in this matrix? If you count the total number of elements, 4 into 3, there are 12 elements here in the matrix. Okay, this is something about the definition of the matrix as well as the order of the matrix. Okay, just have a look. Just as mentioned you now, I have an order of the matrix. For suppose I have a matrix and you may say its order is some m by n. Okay, and you just think about that m and n. Sometimes that m and n are equal and sometimes they are not equal. So based on that equality and non-equality of those m and n, there are different types. If m not equals to n and if m is equals to n. Okay, m not equals to n means number of rows and number of columns are not equal. Different rows and different number of rows and columns are there. Just like as we discussed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is its order? There are 2 rows and 3 columns. Its order is 2 by 3. So here m and n are not equal. Whereas coming to that case, where m and n are equal, that means the rows and columns are equal. For suppose if you say minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 1, 4. See, if you look this matrix, then for this matrix, number of rows are 3 as well as number of columns are also 3. Okay, and if you look there, these type of matrices where m and n are not equal and looks like which format? It looks like a rectangle, and that's why these type of matrices are mentioned as rectangular matrices. And whereas if you look here, see, number of rows and columns are equal and it looks like a square, and we call these matrices as square matrix. Okay, see, these are the square matrices as well as these are the rectangular matrices. And in this rectangular matrices, either if you look about m and n, if any one of those equals to 1, then we call them as row matrix and column matrix. For suppose, see here I am going to give you 2 different types again. Okay, for suppose there is only one row like this, 7, 8, 9, or if there is only one column like 3, 4, 10. Okay, see here we have only one column, not only 3 elements, you may take 4, 5, any number of elements, no problem. 7 minus 1 like this. This is a matrix where there is only one row and number of columns are different. Its order is basically 1 by 5. There is only one row and 5 columns. Okay, and this matrix is known as row matrix because there is only one row. We call it as row matrix. Whereas coming to here, there are 3 rows and then 1 column. Okay, 3 rows and 1 column, and this is called as column matrix. This is column matrix as well as this is row matrix. Okay, and one more thing is, either for the rectangular or for the square, if all the elements are zeros, then we call it as zero matrix. What I am telling you is zero matrix. Zero matrix means what? All the elements should be 0. So 0, 0, 0, 0. If I have like this, its order is 2 by 2. So it's a 2 by 2 zero matrix. And for suppose if I have a matrix like this, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. It is also a zero matrix whose order is, since it has 2 rows and 3 columns, its order is 2 by 3. Okay, basically related to the types of matrices, this is one part. There are many other types also. Okay, and in this part, if rows and columns are different, we call it as rectangular matrix. If rows and columns are equal, we call it as square matrix. We need to memorize all these names again. Okay, and among these rectangular matrices, if there is only one row, we call it as a row matrix, and if there is only one column, we call it as column matrix. Okay, so rectangular matrix, square matrix, row matrix, column matrix, and another thing is zero matrix. Zero matrix is a matrix where all the elements are zeros. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? So this is zero matrix. There are certain purposes where we need to use zero matrix specifically, and that's why we need to we need to mention here also. Okay, and just have a look. And coming to the 4th point, principal diagonal of a matrix. Principal diagonal of a matrix. Okay. What is meant by the principal diagonal of a matrix? And first thing is, this principal diagonal of a matrix is meant for square matrices only. This principal diagonal is there only for square matrices, not for the rectangular matrices. So what it means, if you look there, or suppose if I have a matrix like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's a matrix of order 3 by 3. Since it is of order 3 by 3, rows and columns are equal, and that's why we call it as what? A square matrix. And since it is a square matrix, you need to concentrate on the elements which forms a principal diagonal. That in the sense, you need to pay your attention on the elements from first element of the first row to the last element of the last row. See, these three elements 1, 5 and 9 are mentioned as the principal diagonal of a matrix. Okay, see, this type of diagonal possible only for what? Only for square matrices. It is not possible for rectangle. For example, if you have a rectangular matrix like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, minus 1, 0, 1. If I have a matrix of this format, here if you look there, there are 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay, see, then this type of diagonal is not possible. Okay, you may start at this 1. Okay, but there is no possibility to end at the last element of the last row. This is not a principal diagonal. Okay, that is the principal diagonal. And one more confusion usually students may get is, for example, if I have a matrix of this format like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is a square matrix, that's good. Okay, and don't consider this as the principal diagonal again. Okay, this is also one of the diagonal, but we don't treat this as principal diagonal. Okay, this is not principal diagonal, this is not principal diagonal, and this is principal diagonal. Okay, so principal diagonal of a matrix is the elements in the diagonal, elements from the first element of the first row to the last element of the last row, and they are connected by the diagonal pattern. Okay, so these three elements are known as the principal diagonal. Okay, you may take it as 4a. Then coming to 4b, and here I need to mention trace of a matrix. Okay, you just identify the name, trace of a matrix. Okay, see, trace of a matrix is simply nothing but sum of the elements in the principal diagonal. Very simple actually. Trace of a matrix is just nothing but what? Sum of elements in principal diagonal. Okay, for suppose if you name this matrix as some A, then trace of A, what you say about the trace of A? Then trace of A is equals to trace of A. You may write it like this. Just look there. Trace of A. Okay. You need to add these elements. 1 plus 5 plus 9. So if you add 1 plus 5 plus 9, how much it is? 1 plus 9 is 10 plus 5 is 15. So trace of this particular matrix is 15. So if you add these three elements, and if this matrix is A, then its trace is mentioned as 15 because sum of these three elements is 15. So for suppose if I have a matrix like this, 2, 4, 7, 0. 2 by 2 matrix. Again a square matrix. Here I have a chance to construct a principal diagonal. So these elements are the elements of the principal diagonal. And if you add these two, 2 plus 0 is 2. So it is a square matrix, and this is the principal diagonal, and sum of these two elements is 2, and that sum 2 is mentioned as what? Principal, see, trace of the matrix. Okay, so here at the end what we are concluding? We are concluding about the principal diagonal of the matrix as well as the trace of the matrix. Okay, have a look. See, 4c for square matrix of order 4 by 4. See, surely దీనికి diagonal ఉంటుంది, and if you look there, what is its principal diagonal? It starts from the first element of the first row to the last element of the last row. If you look there, this is usually the principal diagonal. Is it clear? Absolutely. And if this is the principal diagonal, see, there are some elements in the above of this diagonal as well as below of this diagonal. You just identify it. These elements like 2, 3, 0, 5, 6, 2. Okay, there are some elements in this above of the diagonal, and there are some elements just below of this diagonal also. See, totally what I did is I divided the total matrix into three parts. Principal diagonal, above the principal diagonal and below the principal diagonal. And now this is known as principal diagonal. We know it, okay? Principal diagonal of the matrix. And these elements in this format, they are known as upper triangle of the matrix. What I am saying you is upper triangle of the matrix. As well as if you look this, these elements are known as, see this format along with the elements is known as lower triangle of the matrix. You need to memorize these terms, okay? Upper triangle of the matrix, elements above the principal diagonal in this format. Lower diagonal of the matrix, elements below the principal diagonal in this format. Since they looks like a in the form of a triangle, so we are calling it as lower triangle, and they are upper triangle, and these elements are known as principal diagonal. Okay, and one more thing is, see, try to count the number of elements in each part of this division. Okay, see, this is what a 4 by 4 square matrix, and if you count, the total number of elements in this matrix is 16. Very clear. And what to say about the number of elements in the principal diagonal? Number of elements in the principal diagonal are 4. See, total elements are 16. Number of elements in the principal diagonal are 4. So, if you remove these 4 elements from the from the total elements, how many we left? We left with 12 elements. And if you divide those 12 elements into 2 equal parts, 6 and 6, here you will get 6 elements, there you will get 6 elements. So, the number of elements in the upper triangle for this 4 by 4 order is 6. But that 6 is just simply nothing but 16 minus 4 by 2, that is equals to 6. Here also this is equals to 16 minus 4 by 2. Why I mentioned in this pattern like 16 minus 4 by 2? Why? Because I need to generalize a particular formula for this. Okay. See, first of all, you just look about it. Principal diagonal, upper triangular and lower triangular. Okay. See, here the order is 4 by 4. But if the order is not 4 by 4, if the order is some n by n, then what you will say? If the order is n by n, there is a square matrix of order n by n, then number of elements in the principal diagonal are n. So every row has one element in the principal diagonal, so the number of elements are n. Number of elements are n, then what you say about the number of elements in the upper triangle and what you say about the number of elements in the lower triangle? Just think once. Since the order is n by n, then the total number of elements are n square, n rows as well as n columns. If you multiply, it gives us the number of elements. N square elements are there in the matrix, and among those n square elements, n elements are there in the principal diagonal. And if you remove these elements from that n square, like 16 by 4, you need to calculate n square minus n. And these are the remaining elements. N square minus n by 2, half of those elements are there in the principal upper triangle, and similarly half of those elements are there in the lower triangle. So for suppose if you say the order as n by n, total number of elements are n square, and if you remove the principal diagonal elements, see, then the number of elements in the upper triangle as well as the lower triangle are n square minus n by 2. Okay, just have a look once again. Fifth point, again different types of matrices based on the principal diagonal as well as the lower triangle and the upper triangle. Using all these terms, see, I will give you some more types. Okay, fifth point. Okay, directly I will give you an example and I mention the name. Okay, yeah. For suppose if I have a matrix of this format, look there. Okay, I have a square matrix. You may say it like 1, 2, minus 3. Okay, if there are some zeros in the lower triangle, and you may say some elements like 4, 5, 7 in the upper triangle. Just look there. Every element in the lower triangle is 0 here. Okay. Every element in the lower triangle is 0. And there are non-zero elements in the upper triangle. So these type of matrices are known as upper triangular matrix. We call it as upper triangular matrix. You need to get a clarity on this definition. Upper triangular matrix is the matrix where every element in the lower triangle is 0. Okay. See, upper triangular matrix means what? Every element of lower triangle is 0. Okay. Similarly, if you have another matrix where upper triangle elements are zeros. Okay. So for suppose if I have a matrix of this like this 1, 2, 3. So here these upper triangle elements are zeros. And think about the lower triangle minus 1, 7, some 0. See, every element of the upper triangle is 0, but you just don't think about the lower triangle. There may be non-zero elements as well as zero elements also. Here, every element of the upper triangle is 0, and that's why we call this matrix as lower triangular matrix. Okay? Okay. And one more thing is, for example, if I have a matrix like this 1, 2, 3 and all the other elements are zeros, both in upper triangle as well as in lower triangle. If you have this type of matrix, and this is called diagonal matrix. Only diagonal elements or maybe 0 or may not be 0. Okay, we don't have any stress on this diagonal elements, but we need to confirm that all the other elements are zeros except the diagonal elements. If all the other elements are zeros, we call it as diagonal matrix. And among these diagonal elements, for example, if I have a matrix like this 3, 3, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. See, this is a diagonal matrix clearly, but in that all the elements in the diagonal are equal, and that's why these type of matrices are known as the scalar matrix. Okay, just I am giving you here matrices of order only 3 by 3. Similarly, we have there is a chance to extend these ideas for 2 by 2 matrices as well as 4 by 4, 5 by 5 for everything. These definitions are acceptable for square matrices. That's you need to identify. Okay, and one more thing is, all the diagonal elements are equal if they are must equals to zeros, then these type of matrices are known as identity matrix. Just once again think about it. Okay, if only lower triangle elements are zeros, that matrix is upper triangle matrix. If only upper triangle elements are zeros, that is lower triangle matrix. If both upper triangle and lower triangle elements are zeros, that is the diagonal matrix. And if the diagonal elements are equal, that is the scalar matrix. And if that equal element is equals to some one, equal exactly 1, then that is called the identity matrix. And all these are different types of matrices. I mentioned you the examples related to the square matrices of order 3 by 3. Okay, there is a chance to represent similar examples for the square matrices of order